Hello Capricorn and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be 11 relationships reading for the end of February 2023, looking at your connection to the person that you are currently connected to and needing to learn the most from right now. We're looking at all three sides of the connection. So we've got your energy toward the connection, their energy toward the connection, and this higher level unbiased truth. The idea is that there are three sides to every story. So looking at your perception, their perception, and again, kind of that unbiased truth, if you will, of the connection. I do encourage you to think outside the box on these readings because this might not be specifically talking about someone romantic in your life. This could be a friend, a family member, a coworker, anyone that you're kind of dealing with that you feel reactive to at this time. This reading could definitely be for them. I think that's all. I'm going to go ahead and jump in. All right, Capricorn, on your side of this connection, you have surrendered to the divine with know thyself. This connection is teaching you a lot about yourself. And it's teaching you a lot about not just how your relationship, not just about your relationships with others, but about your relationship with yourself as well. If that is not something that you're consciously aware of, that's something that the universe is encouraging you to take a look at. Because with a surrender to the divine, there's a need to let this connection flow. Like, let it go, let it flow. Not meaning that you need to let it go in the terms of like, getting it out of your life or anything like that. More just like let go of the idea that you have of how this connection should go. Because I feel resentment in this, and we'll get to where that's coming from in a second, but there's definitely a karmic cycle in between this connection because you have karmic path and fire. So there's a lot of intensity to this connection. This connection, like it could be one of those connections where, when things are really, really good, then they're really, really good. But when things are bad, they're really, really bad. So highs and lows, and that typically comes with some sort of a karmic cycle. So there is like there's an intensity to this connection, and that intensity can intensify a lot of other feelings. So when you start to feel anger or resentment or frustration, this connection has a tendency to bring that out more than other connections in your life have done. Their side of the connection, they have emotions are running high with harmony. Now, one thing I do want to mention is remember that these can be swapped. So if you resonate more with the energy over here, that's completely normal. But with this harmony and emotions are running high, they want harmony in this connection. They want this connection to come together in a healthy way. But right now, I feel like they are having a hard time, possibly with communication or actions in the connection. Either way, their emotions are kind of taking lead. So I feel like, and I honestly feel like that could be the case for both of you guys. And that's where this fire is coming from, is it's like when both of you guys get emotional, it kind of amplifies everything that's going on. In between this connection, you have conclusions are within reach and forgiveness. So I feel like there's some sort of conclusion for some sort of karmic cycle here that will bring about some forgiveness and potentially some harmony in this connection. Because I do feel like that's ultimately what you both want. But I also feel like this person, in particular, like with the energy that's coming through right off the bat, they could be a little prideful. And so when it comes to finding that middle ground and really truly coming to, a place of harmony, this person could possibly have a tendency of letting their pride get in the way a little bit. But let's see. Let's just see. Let's get more. So I got a different tarot deck for every side. So we're going to start with Capricorn, your side of this connection. This is Capricorn's side of the connection to the person they are dealing with. This is Capricorn side of the connection. Capricorn side of the connection to the person they are dealing with, please. Yeah, see, there's a cycle. Because you feel pretty alone in this connection. Now, you could be in, like this person could be in your life. Like you could spend every day together, but there's this feeling of feeling a little lonely. But then here's another energy of needing to kind of let go. But I don't know what letting go means, what the surrender to the divine means. Because ultimately, I feel I want to get more, because the world in reverse, this is talking about some sort of a cycle that needs to complete something. And usually when there's a cycle, that means there's some sort of a lesson to be learned. Clarifying the hermit, not usually, that means there's a lesson, because lessons are what closes cycles. Clarifying the hermit in reverse on Capricorn side of this connection. You have the 10 of Swords in reverse, though, with the 9 of Wands in reverse. See, you're healing from this 10 of Swords that seems to be actually from a different connection. Like a feeling of betrayal from a different, and if it's not a different connection, it's a past version of this connection. So that's why it feels, Capricorn, like you've kind of withdrawn a little bit. And I feel like ultimately because you're afraid of the past repeating itself in some way, shape, or form, whether this is this hurt, this 10 of Swords, whether it happened within this connection or it happened in other connections in your past, you're ultimately afraid of this happening. So you're healing from something that actually doesn't have to do with what you're currently dealing with in this connection, it feels like. Or a past version of this connection, something that happened, but maybe there was a resolution, or because this forgiveness, or maybe that's where this resentment's coming from. Because this forgiveness energy here is basically saying the way this cycle is going to complete is when there is forgiveness. Now, I don't know if that's forgiveness of the other person, if that's self-forgiveness, if that's forgiveness of someone from your past. This is Capricorn side of the connection, or not even from your past, but someone else that's currently in your life. Capricorn side of the connection. And remember, forgiveness is an act of self-care. It's not actually doing something for someone else. Capricorn side of the connection. There's a lot of okay, hang on, because this is like deception revealed or information revealed. Clarifying the 7 of Swords in reverse on Capricorn side of the connection. You're right now kind of at a crossroads with this connection, Capricorn. You're unsure about whether or like what path to take with it. Not in the sense that you don't want it. Like I feel like you do. But I also feel like, because of this Know Thyself card, it's almost like this person could trigger you in a way that a connection never really has. And the reason for that is it's trying to, the connection's purpose, because remember, every single connection we have in our life, romantic or not, is here to teach us something. It's here to teach us something about ourselves, something about our life, something about the world, if you will. And I feel like this connection is teaching you a lot of, or it's poking at certain aspects of yourself that you're not necessarily wanting to address. And ultimately, it's not that there's like a conscious, I don't want to address these things. Remember, 95% of our movements, choices, decisions, reactions comes from our subconscious. There's only 5% of how we interact with our environment is conscious. And so there's really this level of like something deep in you being poked at. Because you have hope about this connection, but at the same time you feel a deep loss with it. So it's almost like needing to dig deeper into the purpose behind the connection as opposed to the circumstances of the connection itself. I hope that makes sense. Let me see. Let me get more for Capricorn side of the connection. There could have been deception on this person's part that was revealed, or you've encountered deception in other connections that it's been hard for you to fully trust this one. there's a lot of conflict here. It's that intensity. It's like there's a lot of conflict, but it's because with this Page of Wands, this connection pokes at deep-seated wounds that you have, Capricorn. It pokes at those aspects of yourself that your ego and your um, subconscious kind of want to keep from you in a way, almost like that protection mechanism in our brain that's like tries to keep us from truly facing a lot of that trauma that we tend to bury, right? Because there's a lot of, it's like this connection is poking at some sort of inner child. And honestly, that's where the majority of this conflict stems from. That's what it feels like. And that's why this is such a cycle, because if this cycle could complete, and it's one that I feel like stems from when you were a kid, then this connection would be able to find harmony. But I ultimately feel like it's been difficult because it's hard to really understand where a lot of conflict comes from, because it can kind of feel like conflict is just coming from out of the blue, when in reality there's something deeper going on. There's something more that's trying to be brought to the surface. This is Capricorn's side of this connection, because you've withdrawn because out of fear, or possibly even out of necessity, like you had to withdraw. This is Capricorn's side of this connection, to like protect yourself. It is out of fear. I just saw that moon card poking out. Because there's the Nine of Wands in reverse. So I feel like recently you've been hitting more obstacles or issues in this connection than usual. You have the Page of Pentacles in reverse with that Nine of Wands in reverse. And it feels like there is an opportunity for this connection to find its way together in a healthy way. Because it's not, even if you guys are together, this could still be like a feeling, this just like friction, because this fire energy, although, fire and intensity and connections can be a good thing, it can also be an equally bad thing, because it all of the passion and good that you have, it balances out with the passion and the bad. Like every aspect, every good is balanced out with a bad in a connection. That's why usually the toxic connections, I'm not saying this is one of those, but whenever you're in not so healthy relationships, the highs are super high, but the lows are super low. And as you realize that healthy connections, they're way more stable. It's like, yeah, there's still absolutely good feeling, times in the connection, but it's not this like, you don't feel like drunk on the other person kind of energy. It's a little bit more, it's a sustainable high as opposed to like a really intense high. And I feel like not necessarily that that's what's going on in this connection. That's not what I'm saying. But I do feel like that intensity has a tendency to make it hard to see past the connection itself and get into, why am I being triggered? Why is this, where is this conflict stemming from? How can I figure out what I really need, how I need to approach this, kind of energy. Capricorn side of this connection to the person they're dealing with. There's the Lovers in reverse. Now, Capricorn, what you don't fully realize is there's a level of you that doesn't feel deserving of a healthy love, or of love potentially in general. And that's what stems from childhood. Okay, clarifying this Lovers in reverse, because there's a part of you that believes you've been raised on conditional love. Clarifying the Lovers in reverse. And it doesn't necessarily mean just by your family. It could be other relationships that you have been very conditional. Yeah, and there's the Judgment reverse with the Fool. So that's the biggest aspect here, is you are having a hard time seeing or accepting love that's unconditional. You have experienced so much conditional love, meaning that you feel like you have to be perfect, or your actions have to be perfect, or you have to, whatever the case is, like you need to be more than you are in order to receive the love that you ultimately are wanting. That's what's being poked at so much. Now, I don't necessarily know if this connection is a unconditional love kind of connection, but I do know that in terms of the karmic cycle that's existing, a lot of this conflict actually kind of stems from your tendency to withdraw because it's this energy of they're probably going to leave anyway. So there's this withdrawal as opposed to staying and working through it. Now, at the same time, it takes two, right? So we haven't even gotten in this person's energy and whether or not they have the emotional capacity to be able to work through things as well. Like, I'm not saying by any means this is all your fault at all, because this person has emotions are running high. So they also have a tendency to allow their emotions to get the better of them. This is Capricorn side of the connection to the person they are dealing with. There's a Three of Pentacles. Justice in reverse with a Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Oh my goodness. Okay, hang on. Clarifying this Three of Pentacles. Clarifying this message. Because there's the Six of Cups. Okay, so it's interesting because then you have the Three of Cups in reverse. I kind of feel like this is alluding to the same card, or the same energy, because in a way, you want things to come together in a healthy way, but you don't think it's possible because of what you've experienced in your past. So there's a part of you that doesn't just doubt. And this could be energy that kind of affects all connections in your life, not just this one. Because it feels like with this Justice in reverse and this Wheel of Fortune in reverse, you expect things to go wrong. Because for the most part, they have in connections for you. And so it's been hard to really see that. And that's the karmic cycle. So you have a tendency to almost like possibly either you push people away before they can leave, or there's an energy of like, even when you're investing in the connection, even if you haven't withdrawn, there's a part of you that is always kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out, because you're fearing the past repeating itself. And people, for lack of a better word, screwing you over. But I feel like that's what's needing to be addressed. Is there something deeper here that's keeping you from being able to come together in a healthy way, not just with this person? Like, that's what I feel like. It's not even just with this person, it's with many different connections in your world. Let me see though. Let me type in. This is the person that Capricorn is dealing with, side of the connection to Capricorn. The person that Capricorn is dealing with, side of the connection to Capricorn, please. The person that Capricorn is dealing with, side of this connection. Person that Capricorn is dealing with, side of the connection. Whoa. There's the same Page of Pentacles in reverse as we have right here. So they are not able to see things clearly in this connection. They're not able to approach this connection with a clear head, because with the Strength in reverse, this person lacks a lot of confidence in themselves. To be honest, they're kind of mirroring that in you. So if there was a level of you that was listening to this side and saying, oh no, that's them, I want to encourage you. I'm not going to tell you how to take this reading. Take it as it resonates, right? But I am going to encourage you to try to look at this side as maybe it was yourself and this person's mirroring back to you that energy, meaning you think that about this person, but there's an aspect of you that's actually kind of experiencing the same thing. Because this Page of Pentacles in reverse energy here, I mean, they have the Empress in reverse too. So this person, I mean, they lack a little bit of self-love as well. Not that you don't love yourself, no matter what side you're on, but that there's a level of maybe potentially loving the other person more. Or again, it goes back to like in childhood, you've always felt like you needed to be more or be exactly like somebody wanted you to be. The conditions, right? Like people in your life had conditions to say, I will only love you if you are these things, or if this is the way that you act, or whatever the case is. However, that's like, I feel like this person also kind of has that. This is the person Capricorn's dealing with, side of the connection to Capricorn. Holy. This Ten of Swords, the same Ten of Swords that you saw, but yours was in reverse with the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. They are mirroring this back at you. They expect this in connections as well. Because to them, this is like a everything I touch falls apart, like kind of energy. Like this person really feels and I also feel like they have they've internalized a lot of guilt from relationships in their life that I feel like weren't actually necessarily their fault. I feel guilt. Like there's this resentment, this forgiveness here. I feel like it's both self-forgiveness and like external forgiveness. And I feel like this is talking about, because this person has no freaking clue what to feel. They don't have any idea what to feel. I feel like they're like, is Capricorn better off without me? Are they better off in my life? And do I just, because it's like to them, I feel like they're like, I just hurt people. Like that's kind of this energy that's coming through. I just hurt people because they want harmony with this connection, but this emotions are running high. It feels like maybe they have a tendency to push you away because it's easier for them to do that than to let you in. Tale as old as time, right? But that's why this intensity that exists in this connection, that's why this connection I feel like has a tendency to go from 0 to 100, is because both of you are being very triggered by each other. But it's like what's being triggered is super deep seated in you, like super deep seated. That's why this connection is so intense. Dang. Like this person's experienced some pretty not so good things in relationships. Now I also feel like maybe you have as well. This is the person Capricorn's dealing with, side of the connection to Capricorn. I mean, they're hurting over this connection for sure. Or if not, then this connection really triggers this Ten of Swords in them. This is the person Capricorn's dealing with, side of the connection to Capricorn. Oh my God. This person's not in a good place. Because there's the Nine of Swords with the King of Wands. Oh, King of Wands in reverse. And for those of you who see me kind of turning cards over, I don't take them directly as they fall out. I do probably 80% of the time, but sometimes I feel like they're flipped. Just whatever my intuition has to say. This person has so much self-doubt when it comes to building and sustaining healthy connections. They really, really do. And I feel like this, actually, I want to clarify this King of Wands in reverse. Clarifying the King of Wands in reverse for the person Capricorn's dealing with. Because, yeah, oh, there's the Knight of Cups. It's the energy of being triggered. Please, yeah. They are tired of this. I feel like, honestly, probably just about as much as you are. And that's where this forgiveness is coming from, is I don't think you know, Capricorn, that you and this person are kind of dealing with the same energy in a way. Now, the circumstances might be different and the way that it's coming out and who's to blame and this, that, and the other thing, that could be different. But what I'm saying is when it comes to how you interact in relationships and how you're triggered because of them, these energies are really quite similar. But this person, I mean, this energy is tough. Really tough. This Nine of Swords with this King of Wands in reverse. I mean, this is like every connection that they're in, they have a tendency to be incredibly anxious about. Like, and this person could struggle with anxious attachment or avoidant attachment or something that's rooted from the fear of things falling apart, which is exactly what you're dealing with. Because with this Three of Pentacles, you want things to come together too. They want harmony, you want harmony. The only thing that's standing in the way of that is healing, individual healing that is of deeper, because maybe this person comes off as controlling, but I don't feel like they're controlling in a sense that it doesn't feel manipulative. Now, if it is to you, then take that as a resonance. This is not me saying, this is not me giving anyone a free pass for being controlling. But what I am saying is this person could come off as that, but I feel like it's literally just their way of protecting themselves. Because that's what I feel like is triggering that conditional love that you've experienced, is you feel like you have to be a certain way in order for this person to accept you. This is the person that Capricorn is dealing with, side of the connection. Person that Capricorn's dealing with, side of the connection. That's why their emotions are running so high. Okay. Now, at the same time, this person has a tendency to probably dwell on the stuff that doesn't matter. Now, that's not me saying it doesn't matter to them, but it feels like they have a tendency to focus on like I'm trying to think of a way to word that. Clarifying this Four of Cups in reverse. Four of Wands. Clarifying the Four of Cups in reverse, please. Yeah, okay. So no, this person is just kind of straight up controlling. Because there's the Emperor in reverse again with the 10 of Coins in reverse. This person, they have a tendency to take you for granted. And I feel like that triggers you. You know, but I'm not trying to excuse this person's behavior, but I really don't feel like it comes from a place of maliciousness. Like, I feel like this person is like, they just feel this need to protect themselves, but so do you. But then there's that energy of you kind of feeling lonely in this connection, feeling alone, feeling withdrawn. I feel like you're just tired of the arguing, potentially, like the conflict. I feel like this person is too, but they might create it. Like, it's kind of that energy of like someone who creates conflict to find reasons that are wrong because they fear accepting love for who they are. So it's almost like they come up with reasons that things aren't going to work. And it stems from the fact that they've never really experienced a relationship working out. That's what when they focus on things that don't matter, because it might feel like they poke at you, or like again, it just feels like arguments kind of start out of the blue, and maybe you're like, I don't really know where that came from or why this is happening. And it's their protection mechanism. It's how they protect themselves, because it's easier for them to be in control when there's an argument and they feel very out of control when things are good, because it feels to them like something could go wrong at any time and you are going to walk away, or vice this could be vice versa. Like, this is just kind of the dynamic that's coming through in this connection. The person Capricorn is dealing with, side of the connection to Capricorn. The Page of Cups in reverse. And there's the Hangman in reverse. So this person's also, and there's the Page of Wands in reverse. So there's that same inner child energy that you are dealing with. That's having, that's why there's this, it's almost like this connection. Both of you feel kind of incapable of letting it flow. It's not that there's a power struggle. Like, I don't feel that, because it feels like at the end of the day, there's a lot of love here. It just feels like the pain that you both have endured in other connections, or potentially in a past version of this connection. I'm not sure. But because of that, there's this tendency to blame the other person for everything that you've experienced in your past or with other connections. Now, I'm not saying that you are the only one doing that. This is a takes two to tango kind of situation, right? Remember, the whole point of these readings is to look at all three sides of the story, because the more that you can come from a place of understanding. One of my favorite quote probably ever, and I've applied it to my life in a lot of ways, and it's really, really helped me heal, is a person who blames others has not begun their lesson. A person who blames themselves has begun their lesson, and a person who blames no one has finished their lesson. When we blame other people for our pain, we're not looking at ourselves in the way that says, what do I need to learn from this so I can heal? Now, it's not me saying that you should put the blame on you. Like, maybe blame isn't the word that I love there, because it's not necessarily saying you need to take all the blame. It's just saying, look at it from, your perspective, look at it from their perspective. And then once you can kind of understand both perspectives, it allows you to not feel so 0 to 100 when things are starting, like when conflicts do kind of start to rise. One more for Capricorn's person, side of the connection. Capricorn's person, side of the connection. Look at that. There's the Lovers in reverse. This is the same not feeling worthy of love. This is the thing about this connection, Capricorn. I do not think that you realize that you guys are both dealing with similar, not same, but similar past trauma. You guys are dealing with similar fears. Could be abandonment fears. It could be, I don't know, but you guys are there is a lot of mirrored energy in this connection. And so there's a lot going on here. And remember, you had the Wheel of Fortune in reverse and the Justice in reverse. And there's the Wheel of Fortune and Justice right there. And then the Moon card talking about fear. So this definitely has to do with needing, because you have know thyself with surrender to the divine. Surrender to the connection and start to look within a little bit more, because I think it'll allow you to see maybe why things happen the way they do in this connection, so that you can try to find some harmony and some healing to allow this connection to come together in a healthy way. Or if you decide, once you're able to heal, that this connection isn't meant for you, then that allows you to open the door to attract whatever is meant for you, right? At the end of the day, healing is the goal. And so I really feel like that's the case here. Now, we are going to hop on over to the extended. I'm going to look at this truth of the connection. Any information for that's in the description box below, as well as any information on booking a personal reading with me. Thank you guys so much, as always, for the support of my channel. I hope that this reading helped and resonated in a way that you are needing today. And I wish you absolutely nothing but love and healing on your journey. Bye, Capricorn.